Greetings and welcome to your Oracle message for the day. I am Kat Morgan and I welcome you to this video, to this channel, and to this space. This is a timeless reading for the collective, so whenever and however you come across this video, it's the right time for you to be getting this message. We've been pulling one card randomly every morning from our mega deck, and you can look down in the description below for more information on that if you haven't gotten that info yet. But we have pulled a card from the Woodland Warden's Oracle deck for today from Jessica Roux, and it is card number 34 in Roman numerals, the snake and fern representing starting over. And before we go in the book and look at what the reading says for us in the book, we always want to get all of the information and guidance and transmissions that are coming to us directly from the images on the cards themselves before we go in the book. So let's talk a little bit. I'm not going to go into a whole lot on the numerology necessarily, but the number 34 obviously reduces down to a 7, and 7s are very, very strong, very, very holy, powerful numbers in all sorts of traditions across the planet. So, you can get more information on that if you're not familiar with the number 7 or the number 34, and what the differences may be depending on whether you're using the Roman numerology or Arabic. Doesn't, I don't know if there's any differences. I have not explored that in detail. I have found that there are things that I'm just not as really focused on right now in my life, and numerology is one of those things. But numbers are obviously important. Our world is created by math, and math is the universal language. So I'm not at all downplaying the significance of the number by any means. I'm just saying for today's reading, we're not going to go into that a whole lot. But let's talk a little bit about snakes and ferns. We have very strong cultural opinions and beliefs and images of what we associate with on snakes in particular, and I'll touch on those in a minute. But I want to talk about ferns. Ferns are very interesting. They represent new life and new beginnings. Indigenous people often believed that ferns represented new life and new beginnings. In Japan, ferns represent family and hope for the future. In the Victorian era, ferns represented trustworthiness and humility. So they are very multi-purpose little plants, aren't they? I think that some of them, if I'm not mistaken, may be edible. I don't know about that as well. Good fortune and prosperity, tranquility and grounding, resilience. How much have we been talking about resilience on this channel recently? Perseverance, spiritual growth. Ferns have been around on our planet. They're one of the first plants that actually evolved in that whole process. They've been around for not billions, but 300 million years. So they are one of the plants, one of the creatures that are living fossils on our planet. So they also represent magic and healing. They can also represent guidance, invisibility, and rain. So very fascinating information on ferns. Like I said, what I remember of them, I spent a lot of time in the Pacific Northwest. So ferns are a very common plant that I don't see very much many more in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So, but they are one of the plants that kind of determines that a woodland, which is where they're normally found, is in woodland areas, if they're not being just put in for like bedding in landscaping and that kind of thing, but where they're found naturally, they represent the growth and development and health of an ecosystem. The ferns are food for different animals. They're homes for the little bugs and stuff. So there's a whole bunch of stuff about ferns that are just lovely, supportive, growing, resilient. They just keep coming back. They can withstand the winter. Right now we're in winter. Again, this is a timeless reading, so whenever you come across this video, but right now as I'm uploading it, it is winter. It's pretty cold outside. And so they just weather whatever. They can go through the storms and they just come back out. They're one of the first plants that you see poking up out of the snow. As spring comes in, you can watch their little fronds uncurling. It's really beautiful. And there's something about that curling frond that is very reminiscent of snakes. So let's just segue right into snaky here. In many spiritual traditions, the snake is a powerful symbol representing transformation, rebirth, healing, and renewal, shedding the skin, releasing old stuff that no longer serves. I think we've had snakes in a previous reading on some other kind of thing, not the woodland wardens. So, and it may have been, no, it was, I'm pretty sure it was snake. In any event, I didn't look that up. If you guys have any interest, you can look that up. And let me know in the comments if you want. But snakes represent a whole bunch of different things. Healing and life force. In some cultures, they're seen as healing. They have always been associated with wisdom and knowledge, even in the Garden of Eden, which is where they get like the absolute worst slant at any point in history. He got bashed, right? The snake got bashed for giving information, for showing Adam and Eve where the trees of knowledge were. So snakes are always trying to help us, really, actually. Again, they take care of rodents, which can be pests sometimes. So they can represent protection and guardianship as well. In Hinduism, the Kundalini is the spiritual awakening, right? That we see represented by our spine, going up our spine through the chakras. That's represented by a snake. Snakes take up, two of them represent the caduceus, which is healing. We have snakes on our healing staffs. You see ambulances going by, or it's the medical symbol. 2 snakes. Okay? Just saying. And the serpent was considered a symbol for the god Amun-Ra in Egypt. So again, extremely powerful medicine, extremely powerful energy. This is not a lay down card. This is a get up and move your butt card. Starting over. We just have had the new year, the solstice. We've had a whole bunch of things, but really, honestly, it's not a matter of the season or the date on the calendar. You have the ability to start over, not just every morning, but every moment, from moment to moment. Whether you're realizing it or not, you are choosing, you choose to turn on your computer or your phone and you know, hit the YouTube button icon, whatever, however you connected to this video right now. You made that choice. And I want to tell you, thank you. I appreciate that. And I hope you get some value out of this content. But we all are making choices every single moment. You're choosing whether to pay attention to what you're doing or not. You're choosing whether you realize it or not. Or maybe you're not choosing. Maybe that's the thing. Is maybe we need to be better choosers. Maybe we need to be better selectors of what it is that we are doing, because we can start over. You can become whoever you want to be, whenever you want to be, because that's what you're doing anyways. You are creating yourself. You're creating your reality with everything you think and say and do and act, your actions. So yes, everything, feelings. This is where it starts, right? The emotions. Everybody talks about your thoughts make you feel a certain way, but your feelings also make you think a certain way. You're not really realizing it, but maybe you have some kind of chronic pain and you've just kind of accepted it as just the way that things are. This is just what you have to live with. That's not actually true. You can choose to do a variety of things. There are a variety of modalities that you can try out and see if any of them help for pain relief specifically, that have nothing to do with taking over-the-counter medications or any kind of prescription medication or anything. If you've been prescribed medication, obviously continue taking that. But if you're in some kind of situation where you have some kind of chronic something, you have the option of being mindful of what you're doing, spending some time, do some research. There are various forms of meditation, not medication, meditation, where you are encouraging your mind and your body to come to a different conclusion on what is happening with you. We have that opportunity to do that from moment to moment. You don't even have to wait until the next morning when you wake up. You can just decide right now you're going to be somebody else. We've been talked a lot about creating alter egos on this channel. I'm not sure. I'm of two minds on the alter ego thing, because I think we don't have to pretend to be somebody else. The alter ego can just be our higher conscience, our higher consciousness, our higher being, the person that is the observer of what we're thinking and what we're saying and what we're doing and what we're feeling. But your feelings will make you think certain things. You're in pain or you're uncomfortable with something, and it makes your brain think, I'm not happy with this, in however you say that to yourself. So you have the option of starting over at any moment, and you'll know when it's right because you get the itch. You get the itch. It's like the skin on the snake. It's too small. It's not wearing well. It's kind of old and getting frayed around the edges and dull. It's lost its shine. It's time to shed that skin. It's time to step into who you know you are. It's the exact same message we just keep getting over and over. I'm not going to apologize for repeating this. All right? Thank you. I know you guys didn't ask me to apologize for that. Let's take a look in the book and find out what it says for us for our reading for today. This is card number 34, the Snake and Fern, representing starting over. The Snake and Fern calls us to start anew. Regularly shedding its skin, the snake is a symbol of rebirth and transformative healing. And in many cultures, the fern is associated with new life and new beginnings. To the Maori of New Zealand, an image of the unfurling silver fern frond, or Keru, K-E-R-U, is a central motif, indicating growth and a return to one's origins. Together, the snake and fern inspire confidence as we start out over or embark on a new path. A rebirth for you is imminent. Summon the magical protection of the fern and wriggle yourself free of those old trappings. And we have two questions for us to consider for our starting over energy. How can I grow by returning to my point of origin? That's a good one. That's a good one. I like that one. Can I grow by returning to my point of origin? Who or what protects me when I shed my skin and become vulnerable? Excellent, excellent questions. So, can you grow by returning to your point of origin? Your point of origin is love. Your point of origin, that creation moment, that event horizon, the quantum field, that consciousness that makes all of the atoms keep spinning around to create our reality, that higher creative source of love is your origin. That's where you were born, and that's where you are supposed to be living your life. So can you grow by returning to your point of origin? Yeah. Can you grow by returning to your point of origin in terms of where you were born? maybe the circumstances, maybe just revisit your early childhood memories. Make sure there isn't anything you're hanging on to from that needs to be released. Any old relationships that aren't even around anymore. They're not even, these people aren't even in your life anymore, but for some reason that energy just keeps resurfacing over and over and over. Maybe it's time to release that. Who or what protects you when you shed your skin and become vulnerable? Do you have safe spaces? Do you have safe people? This is a safe space here on this channel. I am a safe person. I know that we aren't, connected in real time, in physicalness, but we are all connected energetically and quantumly in the quantum field. We know that scientifically. So if there's anything that I'm not the fount of wisdom and knowledge on the planet by any means, but if there's anything that this channel can do for you personally, feel free to drop a comment. You don't have to put a lot of detail in it. Just ask for, some support and sending peace, strength, healing, whatever it is. You've got it from this channel. You've got it from me personally. You've got it from the collective as a whole. You've got it from the creator, the universe, source, God, the angels, your spirit team, your higher self. You got a team, and you are safe in this space to shed that skin, to become that brighter, shinier, newer version of who you are. And you can keep doing that over and over and over again. Try something on. If it doesn't fit, take it off. I know that I did that reading not too long ago. If it doesn't fit, don't try to force it. And if it no longer fits and it's something that used to fit, you can always alter clothes. You can always alter situations. It just depends on what energy and intention you're putting into it. If you are coming into a space that doesn't, it needs to change. It needs to shift. It's not comfortable anymore. There's the itch. The only question you have to ask yourself, how can I bring more love into this place, into this situation, into this conversation, into this environment, into whatever? How can I bring more love? How can I be more loving? How can I be more genuinely compassionate for myself and for everybody involved? That's the only question you have to ask. And as soon as you ask that question, your brain is a very, very fun little machine there on the top of your shoulders inside that head. You ask it a question, and it's going to keep working on the question until it comes up with an answer. It's just crazy how that happens. And that's why in your subconscious, like in your sleep, you've had some kind of issue, some question that you weren't sure how to address or whatever when you go to sleep. And in the morning you wake up and you're like, oh, wow, I've got it. I know exactly what to do with this. That's exactly what's happening, is your brain is just continuing to work on the question that you went to bed with. That's it. So the next time you are in the middle of some kind of situation that you don't know what is your next step, ask the question, how can I bring more love into this situation, into whatever? How can I be more loving, more compassionate, more respectful of myself and everybody else involved? How can I be more love? As soon as you ask that question, your brain's going to start working on different ways to approach the situation that maybe you were not even looking at before, because you were feeling so defensive and you were fighting so hard to convince the other people of what you were thinking as being the right way to go. So that's our reading for the day. It doesn't surprise me at all. We have been getting this message over and over and over again because we are always needing to be reminded of this. It is too easy to go on to autopilot and forget that what we are doing in every moment is important. It matters. It makes a difference. And how we are thinking about it, how we are feeling about it. That's where it starts. So get into that space where you are more comfortable with just being mindful. You don't have to judge what you're thinking, what you're feeling. You don't have to sit there and say, oh, that's so bad, I don't want to do that anymore. Stop that. That's just promoting more of that energy. Simply say, there is a situation that I don't want to continue doing this. I'm looking for how to bring more love. And there you go. And you will find the answers that you are looking for when you come from that place of love. So that's our reading for the day. I do hope that it resonated and blessed you. If you haven't already liked and subscribed, shared, whatever you feel is the right thing to do, I encourage you to do that. I don't get any money from these videos, but it helps the YouTube algorithm help other people find these videos and find the channel if they're looking for similar content. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. You have an amazing day. You are able to start over, become that new person, become that real person, become your true self. You can live that life from moment to moment. When you go onto autopilot, it's okay. It's just like when you're meditating and you notice that you stopped paying attention to your breathing or the candle or the music or whatever, and you were thinking about something. It's okay. Just recognize, oh, I was thinking about that. I'm going to go back to paying attention to breathing. I'm going to go back to love. I'm going to go back to peace. I'm going to go back to joy. That's all you have to do. Don't beat yourself up for stepping off. Just step back on. It's really simple. We overcomplicate things unbelievably. It's simple. It's just come from that place of love. And I am sending you love and healing and joy and peace and strength. You are very powerful. So go out there and be your best version of yourself. I love you. Namaste and ciao for now.